finally here. So I just wanna testify, make it crystal clear. See, I've been picked out to be picked on, talked about out my friend's mouth. I've been beat down till he turned my life around. Seems like I always fall short of being worthy. 'Cause I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. I ain't no superstar, the spotlight ain't shining on me. No. 'Cause I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. That's me.
I used to wake up some days and wish I stayed asleep, 'cause I went to bed on top of the world. Today the world's on top of me. Now everybody's got opinions, they ain't fit in my position, and that it breaks my heart when I hear what they have to say about me.
What they say about you. I always fall short of being worthy.
Lord, I ain't worthy,
'Cause I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. I ain't no superstar,
I ain't no superstar. I wanna be for you.
I ain't good enough,
But he still loves me. I'm not perfect.
yes I do. I'm trying my best. Just ain't good enough. No.
Somebody over. If I don't succeed,
I ain't good enough.
but you love me.
If you ain't worthy, just raise your hands and let me know that you understand.
That we are all so blessed to be loved.
Stand for him or fall for anything, 'cause through his eyes we all look the same. What will we do without blame?
Feels like we always fall short of being worthy.
We are not worthy.
'Cause I ain't good enough, but he still loves me.
I'm not perfect, no. Yes, I do wrong.
Trying my best.
I ain't good enough. Shut my door. I don't succeed. I'm not good enough. The Lord still loves me.
No.
Raise your hands if you understand how he blesses you, 'cause he blessed me too. Even though I ain't worthy, you ain't worthy. He's there for you. No matter what I do, I ain't good enough, but the Lord still loves me.
The Morning Fix live radio show will begin shortly. For your best news coverage and commentary, tune in daily at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on The Morning Fix. The Morning Fix live radio show will begin shortly.
But he still loves me. Man, how powerful is that? I know I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. Man, shunned by the world when I don't succeed. I know I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. Ain't it so wonderful to know that we serve a loving, living God, and he still loves us. We deserve nothing, but he still loves us. Hallelujah. Well, good morning and welcome to Simply Sundays on the Morning Fix. I am your host, Mr. Full Service. Today is going to be a good day because you're breathing and you're above dirt. But today's going to be a really good day because we got a special guest for you in the second hour of the show. Miss Margot from North Carolina will be with us. And she will be telling some hard truths about what's going on down there in North Carolina. Because we should be looking at North Carolina as an example of what might be possibly happening throughout the rest of the country, especially when it comes to election integrity. Oh, yeah, we're going to be talking about election integrity today. That's going to come out. But first, we're going to be talking about Kanye West and Miss Candace Owens trolling the Black Lives Matter movement. That should be fun. So, hope you guys are ready for a fun, exciting show with some good music, some good laughs, and as always, good family and friends. Welcome back. How y'all doing? Simply Sundays with Mr. Full Service. So, as you guys know, I'm not a big fan of the BLM movement, which is the same thing as saying I'm not a big fan of the organization because they are one and the same. Anybody who sits there and tries to tell you that they are separate is lying to you or they're misinformed. The movement spurned the organization. That's where the organization comes from, is because of the BLM movement. And let's be real, the movement itself, BLM, the organization, was brought up because of a lie. Now, we're going to talk about Trayvon Martin just for a second. I'm going to gloss over this case because I sat there on live for 2 hours last night talking to a few people about the Trayvon Martin case, which is what originally prompted the BLM movement. Of course, the hashtag takes off. Black Lives Matter. So, first, let's get some things out the way. Do I believe that Trayvon Martin should have been followed and killed by that young George Zimmerman? No. No, I don't. Also, George Zimmerman was not a police officer. George Zimmerman was also not white. Yeah, most people don't know that. I guess you could call him white passing Hispanic. But George Zimmerman was Hispanic. And he was the captain of the neighborhood watch. So he goes and they've had break-ins in this gated neighborhood. And he sees somebody who he thinks is suspicious, which is a young black kid, 17 years old. Now, I can't say that he thought that this was a child at the time because 17, 5'11", he didn't look like a kid, despite what the news sat there and showed you. They showed you pictures of Trayvon Martin when he was 13 and 14 years old. They didn't show you pictures now. Now, I'm not going to sit here and dox Trayvon Martin or anything like that because I don't think that's really relevant to what happened in this whole case. So Trayvon Martin goes to the store. He's being followed around by this man. He notices this man is following him because the guy kind of encroaches in his space, basically, at the store. So as he's going back to his neighborhood, this guy is following him in the truck, all this other stuff, right? Gets out of the truck, starts following him, trying to follow him. Trayvon Martin takes off, gets away from him. George Zimmerman's on the phone with, I think, his girlfriend or whatever, the police, I think it was. The police says he got away. They tell him to break off pursuit, like leave him alone. Okay, that's fine. Breaks off the pursuit, starts to walk away. He is then approached by Trayvon Martin. Now, according to the witnesses, this is where it gets kind of hazy. There was two witnesses, one who came after the fight had already started, and one who actually was there as the first hit was thrown. Now, he said, Mr. Trayvon Martin hits George Zimmerman, punches him, and then it starts looking like an MMA match to where Trayvon Martin is on top of George Zimmerman and just raining down punches and slamming his head into the concrete. George Zimmerman then takes his gun out of his waistband and shoots Trayvon Martin. Ugly case. It's just an ugly case. It's an ugly case all around. Because had Trayvon Martin just walked away after he'd already gotten away, then George Zimmerman could not claim self-defense. Now, understand, I think that George Zimmerman is scum, especially after seeing some of the things that he tweeted about and the things that have happened after the case was over, including posing with the gun and all this other stuff, like he's some sort of folk hero because he killed a 17-year-old. So yeah, I have very negative feelings toward that man. But that being said, that does not change the facts of the case. And then what happens next? We have Michael Brown. We have Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, who they tried to paint as the gentle giant. The gentle giant who just strong arm robbed a store. Yeah. Gets approached by a cop in his cruiser, starts punching the cop inside the cruiser and gets shot in the shoulder. Takes off running down, gets cornered in the alley. The cop's like, hey, hands up. Does Michael Brown put his hands up? Well, according to witnesses at the scene, yeah, hands up, don't shoot. The problem is they lied. They lied. After evidence, video evidence came out, yeah, they lied. He wasn't putting his hands up to say don't shoot. He went and tried to accost and attack the police officer. The police officer ended up shooting him. Who ends up attending those funerals? Oh, President Obama goes to that funeral. Sitting there making the world more divisive. Oh, this is just another example of white cops shooting young black men who were doing nothing wrong. They put their hands up, don't shoot. Y'all remember the hashtag? Hands up, don't shoot. Without actually telling the story of what really happened. Do I believe that Michael Brown should have been shot? Unfortunately, in this case, yeah. You accost police officers, you try to sit there and strong arm them, try to take their weapon away from them, you can expect to catch a bullet or two or the clip. I don't know. That's just common sense. But here's BLM telling you, oh, this is wrong in America. This is what's going on in America. That's who BLM is. BLM is a Marxist organization. And let me tell you ahead of time, if you're not gay and black, they really ain't for you. You can go look it up on the BLM website, who they are really for. They are trained Marxists, and they used to have it on their page that they were here to destroy the nuclear family, the Western prescribed nuclear family. Yeah, that's what the black community needs. Less fathers in the home, less mothers and fathers, less marriages. Yeah, that's exactly what the black community needs. Let the crackheads raise the babies. Thank you, Joe Biden, in the 86, 88 crack laws, 94, and 96 crime bill. You took the men, left the crackheads, and raised the kids. Good job. Man, listen, I do not like, nor do I support BLM whatsoever. And what's sad is I could have stood with them had it been rooted and based in truth. Had BLM come out and said, you know what? These cases aren't a good example, but we do have other cases. We have the Philandro Castillos. We have the Andre Hills. We have the William Greens. But no, they want you to say Jacob Blake. Let me explain. Jacob Blake, restraining order, not supposed to be around his kids and his baby's mom. Goes over there anyway, grabs the kids, put them in the car, gets approached by the police officers because he had a warrant and the baby's mom called the police on him. The police try to tase him, try to put him in handcuffs, try to arrest him. He's fighting them at every turn, and he has a knife. Doesn't go for the knife. Now, he breaks away from the police officers and goes to the car about to drive away with his children in the back seat, mind you, who he's not supposed to have. The police officer tells him, stop, with his gun drawn, because the taser already failed. Gun drawn, stop. We can't let you drive away. Guess what? Goes to reach for his knife. The knife falls. The knife falls onto the ground. He goes to reach for the ground and gets shot. BLM everywhere. Telling you that, see, this is just another example of a white cop trying to shoot down an innocent black man who just went over to his baby's mama's house to stop a fight. Lying straight to your face, not sitting there. And I've told people time and time again, just wait for the rest of the story because something doesn't smell right. Leave it alone for a second. Wait until the rest of the story comes out, then you make your decision. Because if we keep on letting emotions rule us, we are easier to trick and manipulate. And that's what BLM do. That's what they do. They play on your emotions. They manipulate the situation. They manipulate the facts. And they get rich off of it. Michael Brown's family even said that, guess what? We haven't received a dime. We haven't gotten any money from them. They haven't paid us. We've gotten nothing. Tamir Rice, another one. We've gotten nothing from them. But I'm going to tell you, BLM to me, whole bunch of cowards. Yeah, I'm talking directly to the protesters and all this other stuff. They're cowards. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So this video clip that I'm about to play for you came from the Matt Walsh show. And Matt Walsh actually starts to expose exactly what these protesters and stuff are doing. So I'm going to play this for you. Check this out.
And because BLM are very tough and brave, they focus once again on elderly people. Watch. So tough. Really tough.
That right there is disgusting. That behavior is flipping disgusting. I'm sorry, it's disgusting. You think that is going to help you to further the cause to say that Black Lives Matter? Let me paint what just happened for you. That was two white elderly people sitting there trying to enjoy their breakfast, just trying to enjoy their meal. The protest, the parade, whatever you want to call it, goes by. Now, instead of leaving those white people feeling more like an ally, you just created an enemy. Do you think your behavior just then made you an ally? No, that made you an enemy. You don't know those people from Adam. You don't know if they may have stood right shoulder to shoulder with Martin Luther King back in the day. But what you did was absolutely disgusting. But it only gets worse from that. That's only a small example. So where I'm from is a place called Louisville, Kentucky. And Louisville, Kentucky always hosts this cheerleading competition. Now, after Breonna Taylor died, there was protests in the streets every day. It got violent. The crime actually went up. And there's a cheerleading competition, and you know what? I'm gonna just let you see what happened.
It all new right here on the night team. The fall. It all new right here on the night team. The fallout from that weekend protest. Parents are upset. Protesters are not apologizing. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Prophet. Kids encountered a crowd while they were heading into a cheerleading competition at the downtown convention center. Protesters called the cheerleaders white privilege. But one protester headed to Facebook to criticize the protesters. The night team's Heather Fontaine is talking to all sides tonight.
The reason why you get to be here in these pretty, gorgeous little outfits with your gorgeous hair, your gorgeous bows, is because of your white privilege.
The scene outside the convention center Saturday is stirring up controversy. Louisville protesters stood at the entrance as cheer squads walking in for the competition were met by this.
Black mothers are burying their babies while white mothers send their children to cheer competitions. Do something black today with your white privilege. Thank you.
There were many athletes crying right before they competed.
This cheer mom asked not to be identified, but says Saturday has scarred some of these kids.
They didn't understand why these people were angry with them. Like, what did they do to make these people angry? So they were intimidated, they were fearful.
Well, there's no excuse with the type of behavior that took place to intimidate young children.
Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher apologized on Monday.
It's not a good look.
As did Emmanuel Mitchell. He's been seen at the front of several protests over the last year, but was not there this weekend.
You made Louisville, Kentucky look like we do not care about children.
I do not apologize for it whatsoever.
Amber Brown has also led many marches and says Saturday was supposed to be a caravan until police started arresting folks, LMPD citing reckless behavior.
Being the organizer of the event, made the decision that we should be on foot.
She said they were not targeting the convention center because of the cheer competition.
It was pure coincidence. Not one child was harmed. Not one parent was harmed. Nobody was hurt. White feelings never matter more than Black lives.
Metro Councilman Ja'Cory Arthur also weighed in with this statement, saying in part, Black children have been going through physical and psychological damage for centuries, and it is not against the law to yell at anyone, even if they were cursing.
I'm going to pause that right there for just a second. Did you catch that? Black parents have been going through emotional trauma for decades. Okay, let's talk about that part. You're absolutely right. Black parents have been going through emotional trauma. Absolutely right. But I imagine that they're insinuating that it's because of police officers or racism or anything like that. Let me give y'all some stats. Let me give y'all a few facts. In 2021, 123 children in Louisville were shot. 24 died. That's out of 188 murders. Do you know what the percentage was that was Black, by the way? For the adults, a little over 83% were Black. That's homicides. The same thing applied for the children. So yeah, you're right. You want to talk about nationally? Let's talk about 2020. Anybody care to know that 2,200 children lost their lives to gun violence in America? Anybody want to talk about that fact? And an overwhelming majority of them happen to be Black. So yeah, you're absolutely right when you say Black parents have gone through emotional trauma. You're absolutely right. But at the hands of who? The hands of who? Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. At the hands of other Black people. Let's continue.
There are people who stand behind your cause, but when you use intimidation, screaming, and yelling at young girls, and when you go from peaceful to threatening, no one wants to stand behind your cause.
And it probably started conversations. They're going to go home and they're going to Google Breonna Taylor. They're going to see what actually happened.
One of the cheer parents told me that unless there are security measures in place, she does not feel comfortable bringing kids back to the convention center for a competition. For the Night Team.
So this is what I hate. This is what I really dislike about these kind of protesters and stuff like that. You will absolutely ignore the overwhelming majority of homicides and focus on the most minute. I guarantee you, the Black Lives Matter organization, I guarantee you, they can tell you the last 3 people shot by police in America, the last black people, mind you, shot by police in America. I can tell you, they can tell you their names. But ask them, what was the last 3 black people killed in America? Homicide. Ask them that question. Ask them that question. See what kind of answer you get. They won't know. They won't know because it's something common. You want to tell me that Black Lives Matter, and I keep asking to who? Who do Black Lives Matter to? Because it's obviously not us. It's obviously not the black community. When we're sitting here praising and worshiping thugs. Thugs. Stupid. You know what? We're going to take a little break and we'll come right back because there's some more things that we need to talk about. So thank you for joining me on Simply Sundays on the Morning Fix. And like I said, later on today, we got a special guest. She got the link. We're good to go for later on. All right. So make sure you come back and check us out. Thank you for joining Simply Sundays. I'm gonna go ahead and play something special for y'all for the commercial break. I'm pretty sure you'll like this. All right. See y'all in a minute.
So Black Lives Matter released their 990 IRS filings. They collected $80 million. Where is that money?
It's not here. Everything looks worse than it was.
Where have you seen that money impacted throughout the city? So my producer just sent me a link. It is just shocking to me because of how much money was raised to think that where he lived, the bills weren't being covered. Super frustrating, but that's a dead end, so. And here's where it gets really interesting. Ready for some BLM pride? Another $200K went to escorts, BDSM workers, strippers, peep show workers, phone sex operators, and webcam performers. And then at that moment, it became personal. And I thought, not only am I going to say the truth, I am going to scream the truth louder than you can scream the lies. It's incredible that the majority of the world hasn't seen this.
God, I'm on my knees again. Gotta beg and plead. it rolls. Water for my thirsty soul. I need you. Yes, God, I need you. Your forgiveness is like sweet, sweet honey on my lips. It's like the sound of a symphony to my ears. It's like holy water on my skin. Yeah. Dead men walking, slave to sin. I wanna know about being born again. I need you. Oh Lord, I need you. So take me to the riverside. Take me under baptized. I need you. Oh God, I need you. Your forgiveness. It's like sweet, sweet honey on my lips. Oh, yes it is. It's like the sound of a symphony to my ears. It's like holy water on my skin. On my skin.
Y'all remember the Techley Sunberg shooting? Hold on, sorry, my mic was muted. Sorry about that. So, y'all remember the Techley Thanks, thanks, Macho. Do y'all remember the Techley Sunberg shooting? So, Techley Sunberg was the man who was sitting there shooting into an apartment complex and had a standoff with the police officers and ultimately ended up being shot by the police. Well, BLM is there in force talking about how this is wrong and the police shouldn't be doing things like this. You're not judge, jury, and executioner. Well, the mother whose apartment in which he was actually shooting into, she didn't exactly share that same sentiment as the BLM movement. So let's hear what this young lady had to say.
Respect life, demand justice, and we're demanding the release of the body cam footage. Yes, ma'am. We're here just to respect life, any life, and we're glad that we're not condoning anything, but we just want full and police. We want accountability. We're not condoning. We're not condoning We're not condoning any behavior whatsoever. We're not. If he was doing something or putting people in harm's way, we're not condoning that at all. But we're just saying we want the same treatment for us as they give white people.
Hold on. I want you to understand what this man just said. We want the same treatment for us that y'all give to white people. Make that make sense. Please make that make sense. Okay, this is what I mean. You're saying that this man who was mentally disturbed can sit there and shoot into the apartment where young black children are being cooked dinner by their mother, and you're protesting the treatment of the one who was doing the shooting. This is why I say this organization makes no freaking sense. No sense whatsoever. And what the mother is sitting there talking about, what the mom is sitting there saying, is very simple. She's telling you, hey, if that person had shot my kids, would you be out here? Chances are freaking no. Chances are a big no. You wouldn't be out here protesting like this. If that man had successfully taken out my children, would Black Lives Matter be out here protesting the killing of my children? No. But you're out here protesting the shooter being killed by the police. Let's continue. Let her keep going on.
We want the same treatment for Techley as the person that they gave in Faribault, Minnesota, that they gave to Dylan Roof. That's all we're asking for. And I'm glad that, you know, we're alive today to stand out here.
Mind you, this man just mentioned Dylan Roof. If you're wondering who Dylan Roof is, Dylan Roof was the church shooter, the man who walked into a black church, opened fire, and started killing all the congregation members of this church. And they say that they just want the same treatment that man for Techley that man got. But why didn't he mention Emmanuel Sampson? If you don't know who Emmanuel Sampson is, it doesn't surprise me. Emmanuel Sampson walked into a Tennessee church because he was upset about what Dylan Roof did in a black church. So he decided to walk into a white church and open fire, start shooting the congregation members. Guess what? He was also taken away in handcuffs. He wasn't killed. Compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges. Let's continue.
And demand accountability. Nobody deserves to die.
Police can't be judge, jury, and executioner.
Exactly. The police are supposed to make an arrest and hold people accountable for their crimes.
If you're shooting at the police, understand this, folks. If you're shooting at the police, expect the police to shoot back at you. And expect them to be just a little bit better since they practice all the time. Do not expect just because you're black, you're able to shoot at the police and still be arrested. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that if you're white. There was a case of a West Virginia man just about a month ago out toward Beckley. Was erratic, had a gun, started firing. The police took him out. No questions asked. It doesn't matter your color. White, black, Hispanic, Asian, no matter what. You shoot at the police, imagine, just go ahead and understand that the police are probably going to shoot you back.
So if he was shooting, he should have been arrested and convicted, and charged and convicted. It's not the police's job to execute people. We don't have the death penalty in Minnesota.
This is idiotic. I'm sorry. This is stupid. That's enough. That is so stupid. If he's shooting, he should have been arrested. Okay. Here, sir. Please stop shooting at me for a second so I can come put these handcuffs on you. People you can't be this dumb. You can't really believe the things that are coming out of your mouth. We are more concerned about the killer than we are what the killer or the man, or he didn't kill anybody. He didn't hit anybody, thank goodness. We are more concerned about the shooter. Sorry, that's what I should have said. We're more concerned about the shooter as opposed to who he was actually shooting at. Make that make sense. But BLM hypocrisy knows no bounds. Knows no bounds. Oh, it gets worse than that too. That's the saddest part. Because there are cases where we can talk about David Dorn. David Dorn, who was killed during the BLM riot by some protesters. Simply because they were looting. They were breaking and burning down his store and things like that. Try to stop him. But then you have cases like this. Let's play this one.
They say Black Lives Matter. You killed your own. Killed your own this time. Just because of a barrier. They killed my baby because she crossed the barrier and made a U-turn. You killed a child. She ain't do nothing to nobody.
They didn't give us time to make a U-turn. They started shooting on my car before we could even make a U-turn. Shooting my tires out. Like, why?
But Black Lives Matter.
My baby was shot in her bed.
Killing your own.
Nobody there to help
You
me.
killed an 8-year-old child.
Nobody.
She ain't did nothing to now one of y'all. She just wanted to get home to see her cousin. That's all she wanted to do. She just wanted to get home.
When are people who support this organization and movement going to wake up and realize what they are doing to the community? They are not doing a positive thing for the community. This is a detriment. They are a detriment to the Black community. And I'm so glad that Candace Owens is about to expose them. So yeah, BLM's funeral is this week. I'll be in attendance. I'm pretty sure my boy AJ will be in attendance. Keisha will probably be in attendance. Macho will be in attendance. There's a whole bunch of Black folks who will be in attendance for that funeral. I'm just trying to figure out what we're going to wear because I'm about to bust up in there, singing the upper room. Yeah, y'all remember. Watch, I'm telling you, this organization needs to be dead and buried and gone and far away from where it can do harm to the Black community any further. Yeah, I said what I said. All right. So that's enough of that. We will be attending the funeral. We're going to take a slight commercial break. We will be back on Simply Sundays on the Morning Fix. I am your host, Mr. Full Service. And we will be having our special guest not right at the top of the hour. So make sure you come back. Stay tuned. We'll see y'all in a little bit. All right. Talk to y'all shortly.
The devil is a liar. God is exalted. Never be defeated.
Let's talk about the latest Board of Elections cheating up here in far western North Carolina, shall we? Because there's an article in the Smoky Mountain News all about Graham County, North Carolina's Board of Elections, which is up here near me. And if you're not familiar with that area, that's Robbinsville, where the Tail of the Dragon is. Lots of vacation homes over there. Well, the Board of Elections on the 20th of September has decided that even if you're not a resident, if you have the intent to be a resident, even if you don't have a home, you can still vote there. So this case goes back to some residency challenges over in Graham County. And one particular one, which is still going on, because several of them dismissed their part of the case. They just said, oh, no, we're not going to vote over there in Graham County. We're going to vote in Nashville, because they got caught. Anyway, this one case specifically that's still going on over there that caused this ruling, the family had a house in Graham County which burned down. So now they have a lot. They have a flat lot, but they're still going to be residents. But interestingly enough, their driver's licenses are from Matthews, North Carolina, which is near Charlotte, which that's a state law. You have to change your driver's license to your legal residence. But it gets better because they get the homestead exemption in Florida, which you cannot get unless that's your primary residence. But the Graham County Board of Elections over there, they don't care about any of that. Even though they have a lot without a house in Graham County, they can still vote there. This is why it's really important that you stay on top of the election boards and that you really understand who your residents are and you fight, because they will lie, cheat, and steal to win.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So that is the young lady that is going to be joining us at the top of the hour. And she wants to talk about some of these anomalies that keep happening in North Carolina. And it brings to mind all the things that we heard about the 2020 presidential election. From, of course, voting rolls being scrubbed at the last minute, state laws being changed at the last minute, which is also illegal, by the way, to Steven Crowder going out to Arizona to check the residence of the people who were supposedly voting in mass, to find nothing but an empty lot. Found nothing but an empty lot. There were a lot of things that happened in the 2020 election. You can look at 2000 Mules, Dinesh D'Souza, and they try to debunk this by saying that GPS isn't that accurate, which if it's not that accurate, then go ahead and tell me again why you use your maps. That's crazy to me. So look, Washington State is mailing ballots to any state that you have moved to. I'm pretty sure that's not the way that's supposed to work. That's sad. This is what's going on through our country, and we're told that don't look, don't pay attention, don't really look. We're going to cheat. There's going to be cheating. There's been cheating in every election that we've ever had, but we just don't want y'all to be aware. We don't want you to pay attention. This is the most safe, fair, and free election we've ever had. Remember, Raffensperger, down in Georgia, sitting there with the phone call from Trump, and he said, we won this state. We won this state by a lot. And all I'm asking you to do is look, to do an investigation, to find these votes that should have been counted. We only lost by this many. That's how many votes we need to find. This is how many we lost by. But of course, the Dems will tell you, oh, listen, he's telling you to make up votes. No, that's not what he said. It's not what he said at all. And then, of course, Raffensperger to tell him, hey, this was the most fair and free election that we've ever had. Nothing happened. There was no malfeasance, no nothing. Then a couple weeks later, fire the Board of Election because of all the errors that occurred. Broken chain of command, or not broken chain of command. Broken chain of command. Sorry. All this thing. Found pallets of votes. Then you have people recording videos of ballots being shredded. Nothing happens. Fast forward up to Gableman report up in Wisconsin. And they look and they go to these nursing homes and find that there was a nursing home that 100% of the residents sat there and voted. Others that had 97, 98, 99% voting. They talked to some of the people who voted in these elections and they didn't know where they were. They didn't know what year it was. They couldn't even articulate who come on. They couldn't speak. They couldn't even write. So how are they going to tell you who they voted for? Yet that's who voted. And we're all told, just shut up and don't pay attention. The election's over. Trump lost. Your guy lost. Get over it. Okay. Bet. You want me to get over it? I want you to answer a couple questions for me. Hold on. I wrote these down because I wanted to make sure that I remembered these for y'all. There were some things that happened in this election that have never happened before. Do y'all know what the bellwether counties are? So there are 19 bellwether counties throughout the country. And these bellwether counties have predicted who won the election by who they voted in mass for since the 80s. They haven't missed one. Trump won 18 of the 19 bellwether counties. He won all of the bellwether states. He gained 14 House seats. He saw a primary vote exceed 75%. His was over 94%. As the incumbent president, that means, he was already the president. He gained 8.4 million more votes than he did the first time he ran for presidency. And you're going to tell me that Joe Biden, who sat there in a bunker, did not campaign and lost miserably every time he was in front of the mic. Every time they had a debate, Joe Biden got flipping trounced. You're going to tell me that that man got 10 million more votes than Obama. You're going to tell me that Trump broke the record as the incumbent president, broke the voting record, but Joe Biden broke the record as well, garnering over 5 million more. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. That is hard. That's a hard pill for me to actually swallow. So yeah, we're going to be paying a close attention to not only what's going on in the next presidential election, because let's be real, the presidential election doesn't really matter as much as your state and local elections. Not in your life anyway. In everyday citizens' lives, the most important thing is your state and local elections. That's why you have to get out there and vote. You have to get out there and exercise your God-given rights. Got to get out there. Show up. Remember, these are the same people who try to take people's livelihoods because they didn't want to take some sort of experimental jab. These are the same people who want to teach your children, your little boys to be little girls and little girls to be little boys. These are the same people who want the parents to just be listed as terrorists for being concerned. So, yeah, you got to get out there and vote these demons out. And then they want to tell you, oh, we're all for women's rights, but then they can't tell you what a woman is. Make it make sense. So, yeah, get out there and vote. So, like I said, we're about to have Miss Margot come in. I can see her down there. Miss Margot is about to come in, and I'm pretty sure this should be fun. I have been watching her videos for a while now, and yeah, she's a firecracker. I like that. I really like that. My wife actually put me on to her videos on TikTok. So we're going to take a small break, and when we come back, Miss Margot will be with us. So thank y'all for joining us on Simply Sundays on the Morning Fix. And make sure y'all go out there and get some of this merch. AJ's Rant Room works hard on this merchandise. All right? So go out there and get you some merch. Trust me, it'll be for a good cause. All right? We will see y'all in just a few. All right? Much love. Oh, let me put some music on for y'all just so y'all can, yeah. There you go.
I'm a young man, getting what I came for. Cause I work hard, I got everything I prayed for. Money came fast, so now I take my day slow. Me and Craig, just like MJG and A-Ball. Talk that talk, I just bought her flowers on a weekday. Baby, why would I cheat? You my cheat day. You a treat, that's right. You a snack. Fighting with your jeans, cause you got it like that. Well, okay, tell me what y'all fake. Mad about the date, now I'm great. Cause I remember when I ain't have a way. On a date, only had enough to pay for matinee. Now I'm straight, every morning feeling like a Saturday. Well, they doing nothing, got a lot to say. How you never had COVID, you still got no taste. Saw a girl I used to date, she pretend we was friends. She like, OMG, know it's been a minute. Tell me where you been, huh? Been about it, hey. Back up off me, man, it's getting crowded. Hey, when I'm in Cali, got it in and out it. Whole lot of goofies in the spot, so I'm dipping at it. Adios. In the gym, getting brolic. At the party, we don't bother anybody. Always kept it solid. You know I always kept it solid. Riding through the city in the place I dwell. We just two young fellas in the ATL. We don't never cause trouble when we out in the streets, but then whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police. I was shook. He was shook. But I kept it cool. Pulled us over on his shoulder just to say he dug the tunes. Then he let me off with a warning. We was on our way. 45 in a 50 till I hit the highway. Been about it. Glory to the Father. I don't do the drama. I went vegan for the weekend. Now I'm back to beef and broccoli. Sipping sake. Practice wabi sabi. I don't need a thotty. My girl got that body yaddy. When we walk inside the party, they like, OMG, know it's been a minute. Tell me where you been, huh? Been about it. Hey. Back up off me, man, it's getting crowded. Hey, when I'm in Cali, got it in and out it. Whole lot of goofies in the spot, so I'm dipping at it. Adios. In the gym, getting brolic. At the party, we don't bother anybody. Always kept it solid. You know I always kept it solid.
Okay, this is crazy for me.
Hello, Miss Margot. How are you?
I'm looking at myself backwards in this camera. It's weird. So I'm trying to realize.
Trying to get that camera to make sense.
To you this morning. Yeah, I don't know anything about Twitch. I've never really used it, but we'll try to make it work.
Hey, I'll tell you what. So this Restream and Twitch, and I like this more than TikTok just because you can play videos in its entirety. You don't have to worry about them taking your videos down, things like that.
Well,
yeah.
My little filter, though.
Well, you look great without the filter. You look great. So, Miss Margot, what is going on down there in North Carolina with y'all's elections?
We have some very corrupt politicians, as our governor is in bed deeply with Joe Biden and the Biden regime to a mini California, and we're just trying as hard as we can to avoid that, to the way we vote. And we need what's known as a supermajority in our north in order to overcome the veto power that our governor currently has over us. And for those of you who we were in lockdown with emergency orders for 888 days in North Carolina.
Wow. 888 days. That's flipping. Y'all, listen, that's over. It's over 2 years. In case y'all are wondering.
Yeah.
That's
Reason
over 2
why
years.
I'm trying to figure out my lighting. Sorry. The reason why he kept those lockdowns in place is because it gave him extra powers, and it gave local news. So if you were a county commissioner, because we were in emergency orders, you didn't have to show up live to a county, like Nancy Pelosi and her proxy voting.
Got you. So y'all been having some anomalies, some malfeasance going on down there with them changing the laws. Yeah. Some. Sorry. So what's going on? Like, are the voters just not? Are people just not paying attention, or are they just not being informed?
Either of those things. There's a lack of proactivity by the parties, Republican, and I'll admit even our own party. You kind of have to wait for them to do something illegal before you go, which we found out in Pennsylvania in 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the courts will turn around and say, "Oh, too late." What's going on here is in North Carolina, the governor owns the Board of Elections. The Board of Elections is majority Democrats in every county and at the state level. The Biden plan, they're doing things like, "Oh no, you don't need a signature and witnesses," and we're going to change the rules. Normally, we have these rules for what we call MAT. Bipartisan group goes into nursing homes and helps disabled people vote. Well, now no witness, no signature. So they're trying to do the things they did in Wisconsin. They're doing it all in 2020 to turn us into the California of the East.
The California of the East. That's what they want y'all to be. So
it's really
that it blows my mind that people are okay. So did you know Rasmussen did a poll, and they try to say that if you implement any kind of voter ID laws or anything like that, it's racist. Did you know over 79% of Black people agree with voter ID laws?
So I want to speak specifically to voter ID in North Carolina, because North Carolina had a referendum on their ballot over 4 years ago in the state of North Carolina, and it passed. But because we have a Democrat attorney general that for over 5 years, we voted with a majority for it to be Constitution as an amendment, but they stalled that. But let me tell you what he did. Joe Biden came out and said, "Pardon all the people with marijuana possession of," we were on that. It was happening that day. Roy Cooper got right to Josh, but our voter ID, oh no, nowhere.
But what people don't realize is that's federal. He released the federal marijuana charges. That's only about, just so people know, that's about 6,400 people.
Zero. It's a big zero right now, really, truthfully. Our governor says release all the people in North Carolina because that's a voting tactic for them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's get these people who really don't know anything about what's been going on in society to start voting. It's sad to say. Oh, yeah. It's sad to say that is what this whole thing seems like it's been about. Like, you're pushing illegals through different states. You're trying to get the majority in these states. You're trying to get more seats where there's majority blue power. And I just read a report, I think it was done by last week by the Census Bureau, that showed that they grossly overcounted blue states and undercounted red states. Do you think that was all about their strategy, or what do you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely about their strategy. Think about that. You know, North Carolina for the last 5 years, at least 10 maybe. The population is definitely booming in this, and we only got one congressman, but I guarantee you we should have gotten two, because before they even drew the district lines, the Democrat had already a district that was not even named for that.
Well, see, this is the thing that people don't really look at. This is we don't pay attention to. We don't know. Like, we're not being informed because you're not going to find it on mainstream media, obviously. CNN's not going to talk about it, but Fox News is also not going to talk about it. So what do we do? How do we stay informed? How do we know this stuff?
Well, and that's the reason why I got on following on Twitter. I'm a big advocate on North Carolina politics, and I was on Twitter. I just said, forget it, I'm done. And I decided to go on to TikTok. It was not a medium that I'm a person. That's just not my thing. But I feel so strongly about my state and what the fact that North Carolinians truly do not see the corruption that I felt if I didn't speak out. And I am a part of the Republican Party. I sit as the district secretary for the 11th district, which is represented. It's a large district in far western North Carolina, but people don't know what remote from the state capitol. Literally from my house to the state capitol I am closer to 6 more state capitals than I am to my own. So we're very remote from the news, unless our state senators or our state congressmen tell us. So I just started putting my nose, being nosy, put my ear to the wall, and people would start telling me stuff, and they're going to come after me. I'm up in far western red North Carolina. They're not going to do anything to me. And besides, it's too bad they couldn't even find Eric Rudolph up here.
So you're in the sticks. That's good to know. So you're good.
I'm 100 miles from Atlanta.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. So, yeah, you're going to be fine. Yeah, you're going to be just fine. So let me ask you. So I'm going to just lay it out like this. I do believe that Donald Trump was cheated in the 2020 election. We can point at the fact that the FBI and the DOJ buried the Hunter Biden and the Ashley Biden diary and all this other stuff. We can point to the fact that Mark Zuckerberg was censoring Republican and conservative voices from Facebook, or Republican and conservative voices were being taken down off of Twitter and things like that. We can point to that. But there's hard evidence, such as what happened with the 2,000 mules. There's what happened in Maricopa County, what happened down in Georgia. And it looks like what's going on in North Carolina.
What happened in Wisconsin with nursing homes? Yeah, that's a travesty.
Yes, you have literal nursing homes that the residents are voting at 100%. You go to talk to some of these residents there, and they can't talk. They can't articulate anything. They can't even write. So how are they telling you who they're voting for?
It's really tragic.
It's sad. They're being taken advantage of. Let's be real. I think that there's a nursing home patient right now in the White House, but that's neither here nor there. Let's be real. As an elderly abuse. But how do we fix this?
Well, first of all, I need to tell you, I live in a very remote county in the state of North Carolina. In federal politics, the Cherokee County votes the state of North Carolina. But they play games like that locally. We start speaking out and doing the series I'm doing called Rhino Revelations. When you have county commissioners, school superintendents serving private citizens with cyber stalking warrants to shut their face, or having the sheriff call me personally and say, you need to take a Facebook. Free speech. Oh, that was the end of it for me. So if you think that this is just going on at the federal level, it is not. It is going on at the local level. And these people call themselves Republicans. If people would do their research and check their voting history, they're all Democrats who know that. So they change their preference, their affiliation to Republican Democrats. So the key is you have to have good researchers and you of these bullies.
You know, I got a little bit of experience with the Republican Party down in Florida in Hillsborough County. And it seemed like the same things were going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have some people who have taken on the mantle of Republican, without actually espousing any Republican views.
Them, they get really angry. And that's how you really know they're Democrats. You can look at their voting record after you for free speech, or they throw temper tantrums at the GOP when you call them out, which just happened. He's a teacher. You know they're Democrats because any real true Republican is not, even if it's against you.
Facts. And what's okay? So I don't know if North Carolina is going through the same thing with these school boards and stuff like that, the boards of education. Yeah. Are y'all going through the same thing? Because down in Florida, we had these different books, and I'm going to call them out. There's one that's called "This Book is Gay," and these are in the elementary schools and middle schools, and they're talking about anal sex and masturbation and hypersexualizing children. These boards of education think that this is a good idea to have before children, and you can tell the way that the Democrats in the city are pushing for them to be able to do this. Well, this is the teacher's choice. Teachers are their educators. They are trusted professionals, so they know what they're doing. If they want to teach this book in class, obviously it's for no. But now we're labeling concerned parents as terrorists. And I didn't know, is that the same thing that's going on with you guys?
We actually have a state board of education who's run by a lady who says she's a Republican, who loves social emotional learning, which is exactly what you're talking about, books and emotional discussions to talk about feelings and books that say things like my dad is in prison and my dad is an illegal. I totally understand the conversations they're trying to have with children, but are they the relation and what degree are they having them? I have a little different issue though that I'd like to, since you brought this up.
What's that?
We here locally in my state sports conference, we had a female athlete playing in a severely injured by a transgender athlete playing on the opposite team, severely permanently injured. I think people do not realize the consequences of the string. This is not the fault. I don't want to talk about the parents. That has nothing to do with the parents. Really, it has to do with system. Why would you allow that to happen and not react until you see it? I think it's going to happen. Like, didn't we see that MMA fighter beat the tar out of that woman, injured? Yeah. Was that not a sign enough? Now you want to put high school children in? Here we are.
Yeah, that was Fallon Fox. Fallon Fox.
Yeah.
Beat crushed this woman's skull, by the way, broke her skull. Yeah. And we're sitting there cheering, woo, yeah, woman power. No, that's not okay. Boys are not girls and vice versa. Boys go through a different process, so to speak. Bones become denser. We become heavier. We're faster. We're stronger. Yeah. And now what you're doing is you're allowing boys to compete in women's sports. And we can see we can talk about Fallon Fox. We can talk about did you see what happened with the U.S. women's soccer team?
I did not. I have really, especially over this particular issue locally, because it is a safety concern. One of the children in my community. I will say one good thing. Our local school board, truly what happened, said we will not play that team any longer for safety and applaud them for doing. The concern is, why should they have to take that stance? Was this not discussed proactively before this child got injured to the same opportunities in life that they had prior?
I agree. So with the U.S. the soccer team, they won gold. A few weeks later, after that, they played a scrimmage against a Texas club team of boys under 15. They got skunked 7-0. 7-0. People need to realize there is a difference. I'm not saying that women aren't good in their own right, because that would be a falsehood. I like watching a lot of women's sports as well. Like, I feel like women's basketball is more technical than men's basketball.
I'm from
Mostly men's basketball is just athletic.
I'm from North Carolina. We can't talk about that. No.
Oh yeah, you know I'm from Lexington, so you know if you're a Duke, if you're a Duke fan.
No.
Okay.
I don't support the Devils.
All right, we're good. Okay, we're okay. We're good. We're good. We're good, because I can't be a UK fan on here talking to a Duke, a puke
I don't
supporter.
like you, right? Those Wildcats. Come on. I'm a old ACC back for David Bowie and all those people. I mean, Patrick Bowie and all those people.
Yeah. Oh,
now,
that was back, man. That's back
high
when,
five.
You see, that's back when sports was good. It's back when sports was good. Y'all still had Dean back then.
That's right.
But I also see that what was that? The Duke girl. Y'all had this happen too. The Duke girl who was crying racism.
Recently.
Yeah. What's going on with that? Is she going to face any kind of consequences?
It's a lot. There's a lot. Duke always has some issue with their athletes. Had an issue. What's really sad is Duke used to be the school, let's be honest, for a private school in North Carolina. If you went to Duke, you were, oh my gosh, that was the big deal. You know what I mean? Sort of. But now it's so woke, and is so disgusting. And I know you want to talk about that specifically, but I would really talk about the university system in North Carolina in general, because we have issues here. Our state university system is woke. We recently uncovered that ECU, East Carolina Gender Surgeries, for hormones for 4 years old and up. We have children that have had, I can't even tell you, last year 7 suicides at UNC. No one reported on it. Now 2 of them are drug related with fentanyl. The children are being told, don't talk about it. Principle that the university system is trying to cover up the issues that are going on, focus on these woke agendas, and not let these children talk about what's really going on. Suicide rates are up. Victimization is without proof is all over the place. It's horrific.
Yeah. This is okay. So with this woke agenda, what people aren't sitting here understanding is we're talking about mental illness. That we are really talking about a mental illness, and people are encouraging this mental illness. They're encouraging. If a person was bulimic, if a person had anorexia nervosa, would you sit there and encourage them by telling them, absolutely, you're fat, even though they're 60 pounds? Oh yeah, you're fat. You should definitely go into the bathroom and lose the rest of your teeth. And no, we would sit there and get them mental help. But because they say, well, I feel like I am a girl, or I feel like I am a boy. Oh yeah, sure. Let's go out and buy you a dress. Let's go out and let you mutilate yourself, because that's going to make you happy. And the suicide rate continues to climb.
Listen, I think I'm more of I've learned through COVID than I am a Republican in some ways. If you're 18 years old and you want to pierce your body up, take drugs, do whatever, do it. I don't care. As long as it does not impact me. What the things that are going on with younger children that don't know the consequence, 18-year-olds do not understand the hormonal consequences of their action. But that's you can. You want to vote, you can. You want to join the military, you can. You want to drink, you can. So if you want to do, but the children are where I draw the line, because when you push the younger children who need parental consent. And in North Carolina, with parental consent.
Really?
And we found that during COVID, public health departments would go into the schools and say, you don't have to tell your mom and dad if you want to take the vaccine. And so we know that it's starting to ripple through. And that's where I have a problem with kids that go to school dressed as doggies and unicorns and kitty cats and students. But when the students say they're being harassed, they're told to hush and patted on the back. I have a problem with that kind of stuff.
Agreed. So you have the indoctrination at the university level, where they're turning these kids, let's be real, they're turning these kids into leftists. I don't call them liberals anymore. I call them leftists.
Wokesters.
Yeah, absolutely. Marxist, socialist, leftists. Then you have the elementary, middle school, and high schools that are absolutely confusing these children, hypersexualizing these children. What do we do? Like, do we homeschool? Like, what's going on?
Actually, in North Carolina, homeschooling has become the most pervasive schooling method. You have to remember, in where I live, it's very remote, so we don't have a lot of Wi-Fi. We don't have good broadband. It's created cohorts of homeschoolers. What people don't understand about homeschooling is the school district still gets compensated for you having a kid. You'll get paid if your kid is homeschooled. It counts toward their funding. So, I mean, what I just need to be more vocal. And what I found in my local community is, because we have a bully for superintendent, that she will penalize and persecute the teachers. She'll put something in their file at the state level to transfer to Georgia, which is 14 miles away, or Tennessee, which is 14 miles on the other side. Very good at manipulating and bullying her staff to keep them pushed down.
So even
it's
that's
local
sad.
As much as it is local. Parents need to get, they need to create small groups where they can communicate with these teachers that don't go along with this. And I have told every teacher in my community, if you tell me anything, you will, none of their names, no audit trails, nothing touches them when I expose her and I expose her.
Well, listen, Margot, I'm going to tell you like this. I can sit there. I can tell that you are as sharp as they come. You don't let stuff get by you, and you're paying attention. You are really what woke is supposed to be.
To be honest with you, I just love my state, and I want to save it. I really appreciate you having me on.
Hey, listen, I really appreciate you coming on. I really do, because we need to have more discussions like this to where you can reach a different kind of audience. And I'll tell you like this. I'm not really happy with a lot of Republicans.
Who is?
Yeah, really, who is? But I have a hard line toward a lot of Republicans for a different reason. My reason being because of the 90% thing. The fact that we do know that the Black community and the minority communities vote en masse to the Democratic Party over 90%. So it's almost like become a lost cause for the Republican Party. A lot of Republicans don't campaign in those communities anymore because they feel like it's already on lock. I
don't know if you know this, but if we could sway 13% of the Republican, the Democrats would lose. 13%, that's all it takes.
Yes, because the Democrats depend on the Black and minority vote in order to win elections. The Republicans do not. So
they do. They just don't advocate for them. But you've seen more than I've ever seen publicly, loudly. Mm-hmm. And what I do know out of Republicans in Atlanta and also around, we have spin our mouths as Republicans instead of trying to find common ground. But I think one thing through the common ground is COVID. With the way everyone was treated in COVID. Mm-hmm. And we saw it. We saw it because I listened to the Black community when another Tuskegee experiment. I heard that, and we have seen vocal TikTok that are advocating for that change. It takes 13 the Black community to vote conservative to forever change the dynamic. Did you know that? 13%.
I just learned something new
That's
today.
it.
I just learned something new today. And I appreciate that.
That's all we need. Yeah.
So
well,
how do we sway that 13%? What do we do different?
Oh, I think we'll job at it. I mean, you're talking about people that generally, because of the recession and inflation, they are proud Americans. They want to divide us, but we all have a lot of things in common. We love our families. They're proud of being Americans. We don't like illegal immigrants. We don't like people stealing. Joe Biden is doing a fabulous job helping us sway those minority, the Democrat Party. He's showing and exposing all the corrupt. Is keep telling the story and relate it to your local community. Couldn't even think about what the vaccines were like to the minority community. And I was listening to this gentleman talk about, this is just another Tuskegee experiment, and it blew my mind with that. And I don't disagree with him at all. But how many people even would want to think like that and should think like that? And it isn't just about African American. Experiments happened in different races. They were just happening in Tuskegee for that.
Correct. So, yeah, that's correct. We can talk about the euthanizing or the sterilization experiments out in California for not only the blacks, the poor, the whites, the disabled, things like that. Agent Orange. I mean, we've had so many experiments throughout the country, and the vaccine was just another
experiments done on.
Yeah, but you touched on the major points: the inflation, the gas prices, the vaccine, COVID response, the illegal immigration, the things that are happening at the border. And these are the things, what's going on with the education system, the school boards. These are the things that I think that the Republicans need to really be standing on. I mean, we can look at the example of Glenn Youngkin down there in Virginia, and he won his race based on these policies. Well, and this is what I do believe that the Republicans need to. Yeah. Is that what we saying?
Glenn Youngkin won because it helped him. I went to Virginia several times to help him try to get elected. And we wanted to Carolina. One of the things they did with Glenn Youngkin that was a positive that they learned through the 2020 election, legal resources in every county to make a, say to debate it or turn it in when there was voting issues going on. So we, what happened with Glenn Youngkin, replicated it here. We have 500 attorneys across the state, so that when there's a dispute about a ballot, it's immediate. It goes in immediately, the legal teams immediately. That's what helped Glenn Youngkin is a lot of other states, especially border Georgia and North Carolina, specifically Tennessee and North Carolina. We went up there at countless hours, making phone calls, being a runner between two counties, sending information packets, working at the district level because we knew Glenn Youngkin to win, and he won because he did not back down when it came to the education.
See, that's what I'm saying. He actually showed backbone, stood up to the bullies, stood up to these boards of education, and campaigned for more conservatism. Like, let's be real. Most people in America, they have conservative values, even if they don't call themselves conservative. We are concerned about too much government interference. We want to pay less on our taxes. We want to show human decency. Like you said earlier, I don't care what you do after 18. What I care about is don't try to indoctrinate these kids. If you're gay, if you're transgender, that none of that really matters to me at the end of the day. My concern is don't indoctrinate the kids. And most of the people from the community I'm from have these conservative values as well. But for some reason, a lot of them ended up voting Democrat anyway. But I am often told that I vote against my own interests. I can't understand that. What were you about to say?
Ice Cube proved that wrong. He listen. He met with Joe Biden's. Well, no, he's Biden's campaign. He sent a request to meet with Trump's campaign about the Platinum Initiative. It wasn't the Democrats. It wasn't Joe Biden, and even Ice Cube got on Twitter and he said got back to me and wanted to talk to me.
Yep.
So I mean, don't tell voting against your own interest when you see who's proactively stepping up to talk toward the interests.
Correct. Even when Trump comes on there and he announces that we have the lowest unemployment, the blacks are making the lowest unemployment, the highest wages they've ever had, the wage discrepancy is starting to minimize. Who stands up? The Republicans stand up and they start applauding. Like, yeah. Even Democrats stood up and started applauding. Guess who didn't stand up? The Congressional Black Caucus.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Come on, Donald's in there.
They said
caucus. They're the Black Agenda Caucus.
There you go. That's exactly. And Byron Donalds down in Florida tried to join the Congressional Black Caucus.
Exactly.
Yep. They reject him because, you're a Republican. If you are really concerned about what is going on in the Black community, you will hear opinions from either side. It shouldn't be a partisan issue. This should be people coming together to work out problems. Not to mention, Byron Donalds is everything that you talk about. That man came from a single parent home, came from New York City, the streets, he was poor, and he worked hard, put his head down, and made something out of himself. This is everything that you're supposed to be looking for, rooting for. Yet you reject him based on what? Yep, he's a Republican. Yeah, you're not for the Black community.
Black Agenda.
Not.
Just like
Black
Native
Agenda.
American Agenda. I live in Cherokee County, North Carolina. Start of the Trail of Tears, if you don't know what that is. And we have a lot of Native Americans here. And let's just talk about that. I mean, I see Tom Tillis. He doesn't do anything to help Cherokee. Not helping us up here. He wants to advocate for things that go against which is the largest Native community in North Carolina. And the original Native American, we see it at the state level on a different, for different minorities, but we see it. We see it.
That's what I'm saying. People, I want y'all to hear me. Y'all need to be paying attention to what's really going on. Local levels. That's where you get things accomplished. That's where you get things done. You got to get out there, vote local, vote in these local elections, vote for your flipping interests. Go for the policies that are actually going to help you. Higher taxes. They want to hire 87,000 new IRS agents and then shoot down a bill that is going to protect you from any new audits if you make under 400,000.
That is, you should take a look at what's going on at the state level, because every sling the counties, they must raise the millage rate because the housing. So while they're sitting there telling us that $400,000 won't impact you, tax increase in my county. Across North Carolina. And one of the things that's also happening that people don't realize is there's a housing shortage. So they're incentivizing building of HUD housing. Dole that money out. What do we need HUD housing in a remote I can understand if you had it in Raleigh, but like 1,000 people in my county.
So what in the just spending money to spend it?
Yes.
Recklessly just spending money to spend it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And while Americans suffer, let's send more to the Ukraine. Let's do that.
And they're telling local municipalities, get your multi-dwelling units. We don't have apartments here. You know, we don't even have good hospitals here. You go to there, but every county is being told by the federal government, you're incented, get this money. It's a cycle of it's just a bad cycle of corruption.
Mm-hmm. I look at it as, I even look at this whole Ukraine issue as this is just money laundering at its finest. Like
100%.
That's the way I've been looking at it. But I'll tell you what. I said this once, I'll say it again, folks. Local levels. Vote these leftists. I'm not going to call them progressive or liberals anymore. You vote these leftists out of there. And you'll see our country coming back to normal. And get these rhinos out of there too, because there's plenty of that. Well, Margot, I'm going to let you have the floor for 3 minutes. You go ahead, say what you need to say.
Well, listen, I want to tell everyone who's listening is get loud. Don't back down and be proud of who you are and where you're from. Do the research. What I do, I do a series on my TikTok called Rhino Revelations. I base on my local community and my followers on TikTok that you can stand up for your community and your. And what is most important is that you have the research to back up what you're saying. And I have a friend, a cousin actually, who does a lot of the research and digging for me. And we realize that people can consume 3 minutes and they will message. So we try to drop a daily message 3 minutes long, or the political issues in our area that are being treated incorrectly without facts. It may be a Facebook post that we come across. It could be on the North Education website where we prove that our superintendent lied to our county commissioners. But the information, what's lacking is people to have the strength and fortitude to stand up, not be afraid to tell the truth, because they hate it when you tell the truth. Get a backbone, get a good filter, and tell the truth.
Well, Margot, thank you so much for coming in. And where can we find you on TikTok?
You can find me at Margot NNC. And you're welcome to come over there. And I do have a Twitter account, but I never use it anymore because they'll ban me again. So I just like TikTok.
I'll tell you what, TikTok is basically where the people are because attention spans. Let's be real. We have short attention spans. But Margot, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right. See ya. Well, that was Miss Margot. And as you can tell, that woman is sharp. She is on it. She is absolutely on it. And I'm telling you now, y'all definitely need to go over and check out her TikTok page because she drops info like nobody else's business. So thank y'all for coming into Simply Sundays on the Morning Fix. We're going to take a small little break, and we'll be back because it's almost time to take y'all to my Nana's kitchen. And as you know, we like to make Sundays great again. So we'll see y'all in just a minute.
Can I have one? want to check my teeth? But it's just a frog.
How are you doing that? Oh my god. Carl. It's okay. Oh,
Ahora nadie aprieta y me puse la Balenciaga. Mami, no te hagas.
Castaways. We are castaways. All day, all day. We are castaways. We're stuck where we are. There's no house anymore.
Yeah. They say I'm confrontational. I want peace, just not at the cost of my silence. Speak up. Through the hood, I keep hearing people say I'm supposed to die tonight. They can't destroy what they ain't built in the first place. So I'm finna ride tonight. I went from a truth seeker to truth speaker. Truth through the booth, your Bluetooth and your coupe speakers. Run up in here, I cut an ear, I'm 2 Peter. I bucket fear, I chuck a spear like Lou Peter. They love it here, I hate it here. They murder babies and pervert the children and make it here. It's getting crazy, everybody claiming they gangster here. And everybody feel it, but nobody is say it here. This God over money, so I say what I want, dog. Your favorite rapper don't need too afraid to be broke, dog. You lose your career pissing them folk off. But you could call black women hoes and kill all the black men that you want, dog. And I don't care if you hate that, I could take that. But stop claiming you real, knowing you hate facts. Sad thing is how fast you could diss a black queen and turn around and walk on eggshells for a drag queen. Bizzle, this what you wanted? I never came for the smoke, but if it gotta go down, then let's get it poppin'. And see, that really ain't what I want, but if it gotta go down, then let's get it poppin'. You can't muzzle me, dog, I say what I want. And if it gotta go down, then let's get it poppin'. I really love peace, but I'm ready for the war. So if it gotta go down, then let's get it poppin'. World full of fake news, nothing real about it. Put their agenda in the middle and just build around it. You don't use your own brain, they gon' flip the whole thing and trick you with a headline and tell you how to feel about it. Call a man a racist, you'll take what he said racially. Call him homophobic, you'll take what he said hatefully. They label it hate, you can't even disagree tastefully. To shake the label, you switch sides, it's mind slavery. These people are evil, don't eat what the media feeding you. Deceitful and wicked, they giving you lenses to see it through. Everybody lying, nobody willing to speak the truth like the Lord said it would be. Maybe we'll see him soon. Bizzle.
All right. Welcome back to Simply Sundays on the Morning Fix. I am your host, Mr. Full Service, and now it's time to take you to Nana's Table. So this is our segment, which we affectionately know as Making Sunday Dinners Great Again. Because as we all know, back in the day, Sunday dinners were a time for family to come together, forget all your troubles, and just enjoy a meal. So this week we got a nice one for you. It is starting to get cooler outside. So we figured, This is a good time for this recipe. So today we are bringing you white chicken chili. So let's check this out. Hold on. Bam. Boom. All right. Your ingredients. You'll need a pound of boneless, skinless chicken breast, a yellow onion diced up, 2 cloves of garlic, 24 ounces of chicken broth, two 15-ounce cans of great northern beans. You need to dry them and drain them off and rinse them. You need two 4-ounce cans of green chilies. You need a 15-ounce can of whole kernel corn. Of course, you got salt and pepper to taste. You got cumin, oregano, chili powder, cayenne powder, a handful of cilantro, and you need reduced fat cream cheese that's been softened. That just means you need to leave it out of the fridge for a little bit. Okay, and a fourth of a cup of half and half. From there, this is one of those fun crock pot meals. All right, so you add the chicken breast to the bottom of the slow cooker. Top it with salt, pepper, cumin, oregano, chili powder, and cayenne pepper. You put the diced onions, minced garlic, and the great northern beans, the green chilies, corn, chicken broth, cilantro. Kind of stir it, give it a quick little stir. Cover and cook low for about 8 hours. I don't really do the high one. I think it tastes better when you do it low and slow. Remove chicken to the large mixing bowl. You shred it up, put it back into the slow cooker. Add your cream cheese and your half and half and stir it in. Leave it on high for about 15 minutes until it's creamy and thickens up just a little bit. Stir it up and then you just serve it up. So I like to make with this one, we can use the little scoops, the Tostito scoops. We like it with that. We also like it with Ritz crackers, or we make cornbread. Usually sweet cornbread to go with it because let's be real. What is chili without cornbread? I'm just saying, what is chili without cornbread? So me personally, I take my cornbread and put it inside the chili. And there she is. And I'm going to tell you what, this meal, like I said, we are trying to make sure that these meals stay under like $15. So this is one of those budget meals, and it's a delicious one. Now, make sure if you want your recipes or anything like your food or anything like that to be featured, send it to us. Send us an email. It's at mandylebanon@yahoo.com. Mandy, Mandy, I'm back. So I can never stand with abortion, but that's just me. As a Black American, and I hate to even say Black American, I just prefer to be American. There are things that I believe in as an American. I believe in life, liberty. I believe in little government interference. I believe in education and opportunity. I don't believe in equality of outcomes. I don't. I believe in equality of opportunities. I believe that the people who are willing to work for things will do better in our society. These are the things that I stand by. And for some reason, those beliefs make us Uncle Toms, coons, Negroes, step and fetch it's all this other stuff. And I'm just like, really? So you believe in the alternate? You believe in the alternate. You believe that the Democratic Party today is for the Black communities or for the American community in general. Because what a lot of these radical leftists are turning this country into, I don't even recognize. They are turning it into a socialist heck hole. Yeah, I said heck. Y'all don't judge me. Honestly, this isn't the America that we grew up in, where we're telling little boys to be little girls or girls to be little boys. Everything that you turn on is perverse or flipping sexual in nature. You have Lizzo up there telling you how oppressed Black people are while simultaneously getting into jet planes and flying all over America and making millions of dollars. Stop it. Don't sell me my victimhood. Don't sell me victimization because I'm not buying it. I know that in America, the only thing it takes is the will to succeed. That's it. And that's what I'm standing for. That is the America that I stand for. That's the America I want to get back to. You want to be able to do something, you do it. You don't talk about it. You do it. I don't talk about it, I bees about it. So we're going to do our best. These local elections are very important. As Americans, these elections are very important. You need to be paying attention. The indoctrination of the generation coming up. To tell concerned parents that you're terrorists. This is what the left is doing. Defunding the police while simultaneously being soft on criminals. Allowing hardened criminals back out onto the streets for offenses like being accused of second-degree murder. You think that's helping the American people, the citizens? How many bodies have to be dropped on the streets before you actually realize that maybe your policies aren't working? Maybe this isn't the right way to go. Maybe defunding the police isn't the right thing. Maybe soft on crime DAs aren't the right thing. Maybe this cashless bail system isn't the right thing. Leftist policies do not work. I'm sorry. Leftist policies do not work. If you need an example of how much they don't work, please go look at California. Go look at these Democrat-ran cities: Chicago, Baltimore, St. Louis, Minneapolis. Please go look at these cities and you tell me that their policies work. But it's red states. No, it's blue cities in red states that are floundering. So, y'all, it's very important. Like I said, it's very important we get out there and vote. Exercise your God given rights. All right. So, I want to thank you guys again. That's been a fun show. Thank y'all for coming out to Simply Sundays on the Morning Fix. Macho will be in Monday, of course, on the Morning Fix live radio show on Twitch Mondays through Fridays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And tomorrow's a sports segment as well. I have not been able to get on the sports segment here lately. I've had a lot of stuff going on, but I think I'll be able to join tomorrow. I'm not sure yet, but I might be able to join them tomorrow. So I just wanted to leave y'all with this. You are the captain of your own ship. If your ship is going in the wrong direction, don't blame the ocean, because you are steering and directing that ship. All right? And I can't wait. Remember, let me know what you guys are wearing to BLM's funeral too, by the way. Because I want to know. Like, I'm generally concerned. Should I wear black? Like, should I wear like I need to find a White Lives Matter shirt. I feel like I should troll it. Like, you know, like White Lives Matter with the BLM like in the grave. Like, I'm just saying. Maybe it's me. I don't know. But all right, y'all. Listen, I'm gonna leave y'all with a funny video, play a song, and we're out of here. Thank y'all for joining. Please, if you have not gone to get yourself some merchandise, stuff will not be around too much longer. Not be around too much longer, and it is definitely quality. I absolutely love this merch. All right. So we will talk to y'all soon. Make sure you go get yourself some of the merch, y'all. Go get yourself some merch. All right. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.
I don't wanna be free. I'm staying in you, and you, and you. You're gonna love me.
People wanna get like me, but what they don't know is when you go home and get behind closed doors, man, you hit the phone and what they can't see is you're on your knees. So the next time you get a chance, tell them it's a God in me. It's a God in me. And He will ride me all the way, all the way. Well, I woke up this morning, felt the Holy Ghost. I didn't have no doubt. Well, I woke up this morning, saw a brand new day. I didn't have no doubt. Feel like forever. He unites and brings all. The arms of angels, they standing side.
Might as well